12 now at 11. Your news starts now.
Good evening, I'm Amber Worthy. Thanks for joining us for News 12 Now at 11. Right now, Bradley County is working a crash with injuries on Upper River Road that led to a driver being airlifted. Avoid this area if possible while they continue to investigate that crash. And a man accused of creating a hole in the roof of a local business is set to appear in court on Monday. Police say that Nicholas Parks is charged with the theft of property, burglary, and vandalism. He was arrested Wednesday night by CPD near the business he is accused of burglarizing. The officers that responded to the scene say that it appears that Parks entered the building by creating a hole in the roof. After patrolling the area, police say they used surveillance video to identify Parks, who was in a nearby vehicle. They say they also located evidence that tied him to the crime. Lakeside Academy in Chattanooga was broken into twice in the past month, with the most recent happening yesterday. Principal Andrea Johnson says that it happened around 2:30 a.m. and she says that they broke into 3 different rooms. Johnson says that 9 iPads, a teacher's laptop, and a brand new television were stolen, all of which are used in their day-to-day instruction. The items that were purchased with the fundraised dollars, so Lakeside Academy doesn't have a plan to repurchase them at the time. If you would like to donate to help the school repurchase that technology, you can do so through the school's main office. An EPB is warning their customers about a new scam. An EPB customer told them that a man came to his house claiming to be with All Service USA, which said that they were buying out EPB. The man asked for their EPB bill and a debit card so that he could transfer account information for automatic payments. EPB officials say that this is a scam and they are not affiliated with All Service USA. EPB does not go door to door asking for account or debit card information. And hundreds of people dressed up in festive costumes to hit the streets today. Take a look at these costumes. Many of them dressed as Santa for the Santa pub crawl. Some with very different versions like pirates or superheroes. There was a bus available to take you around to each spot. This annual event benefits the Salvation Army as well.
You can give a gift or a monetary donation, and when you do, you get an armband that says that you gave at the Red Kettle. And then that will help you get specials on appetizers and everything on all the participating establishments around Chattanooga. But this is a great event that we look forward to every year. It's fun, festive, and folks really care about those who are in need, and they are just so generous.
Salvation Army officials will be hanging out downtown until around midnight. And more than a dozen of volunteers in the area participated in Wreaths Across America ceremony earlier this afternoon, and even more helped distribute wreaths on the grave sites at the Chattanooga National Cemetery. They had more than 9,000 this year, which is 1,000 more than last year.
This is a great opportunity to be able to remember our veterans and the sacrifices that they and their families made. And so the focus is to honor the vets, to remember the families, and to teach the future generations about what's going on here. There's a price to our freedom, and this is a great way to teach and reinforce that.
There was a moment of silence participated in every time zone at the same time today. And also today, the Big Hearted Angels Ministry held the 11th annual Christmas shopping spree. They host this with the Eastdale Community Development Corporation and the Greater Second Missionary Baptist Church. They provided each child with a $50 allowance to make sure that they could meet their needs and even wants this Christmas. They credit the community support for making this possible.
Well, every child should be able to experience Christmas, and there are people in our communities who financially do not have the wherewithal to make sure that their children have something for Christmas. I remember when I was a child and how excited I was to get something under the tree, so we want to make sure that every child has a Christmas.
The children were also able to learn about budgeting to help stretch their shopping allowance to get the most for their money. And what all these stories have in common is that the different organizations came together to give a family something special this holiday season. And today I visited with one volunteer firefighter fighter department about how they are giving back in different ways and say it works both ways in their community. Saturday, the Lone Oak Volunteer Fire Department passed out food baskets and toys to their tight-knit community, something they've done for almost 15 years.
It's all based on donations from the community. We have a very generous community.
They were able to help 50 different families with more than 70 children. However, this year was a little bit of a different experience.
This is a tremendous year. We have Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus came all the way here to join us this year.
Right from the North Pole.
From the North Pole, and they're out here with us. They go to the door and they meet and greet these young children, and their payback are the hugs.
The fire department says that around the holiday season, they make it a point to give back to the community that supports them year-round. They are a volunteer fire department, and they run primarily off of donations, with some help from Sequatchie County. The need for donations doesn't stop after the holidays have come and gone. They know that the love and support will continue to flow in both directions throughout the year.
Our community is about 1,700 members strong, and this is a way to reach out, and really is a mission of our community center, reach the people.
Beyond giving, they tell me that they hope that their department continues to grow with more and more new firefighters who want to serve this area, like Dana Cliff, the new fire chief. She says having a female fire chief truly sets them apart, and she hopes it inspires others to join their family.
Follow your heart. If you have that passion, that drive, don't let anyone bring you down. You know, you move forward and you continue your dream, your passion.
They say that they also have 4 more Christmas trees for anyone who may need one just in time for Christmas. And Tennessee Congressman Chuck Fleischmann is reacting to the tax reform bill. We caught up with him yesterday, and the U.S. representative says it looks like they'll be voting on this bill Tuesday in the House and Wednesday in the Senate, and they hope to have it on the president's desk by Thursday or Friday. Chuck Fleischmann shared the bill's impact on Americans and how it would be more money in Americans' pockets, a simpler tax returns, and more businesses in the U.S. due to lower corporate rates.
What we want to do is incentivize businesses to come to America. Many are leaving, and other countries around the world have cut their rates. Ireland has a low rate. Europeans have lowered their rates. The United States is at a competitive disadvantage. At 35%, companies are saying, why should they put their money here? Now we're going to give them every reason to invest in the good old USA.
And before leaving for Camp David, President Trump spoke about the economy and the tax bill. And with recent support from Tennessee Senator Bob Corker and Florida Senator Marco Rubio, the administration believes this may be the final push they need to get the tax bill approved. Laura Podesta has the latest.
This weekend, lawmakers are reading through the final version of the tax bill, a massive piece of legislation President Trump is confident Congress will pass in the coming days.
This is going to be one of the great Christmas gifts to middle-income people.
The final plan includes 7 personal tax brackets, with rates dropping for almost everyone. A family earning $75,000 a year would see its marginal rate fall from 15% to 12%. But Democrats point out that most of the personal tax cuts would expire by 2025. And in the meantime, there will be less money going to programs that many Americans rely on.
Seniors, disabled Americans, and veterans all count on various tax provisions that are now on the chopping block, effectively raising their taxes.
The bill permanently slashes the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%. Mr. Trump hopes that will bring cash companies are keeping offshore back to the U.S.
Jobs are going to come pouring back into this country, which we need very much.
Nearly every congressional Republican is expected to vote in favor of the tax cuts. They're hoping Arizona's John McCain and Mississippi's Thad Cochran, who've been sidelined with health issues, will be back in the Senate in time to vote for the bill, which has no Democratic support. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
Vice President Pence is delaying his trip to the Middle East next week, just in case his vote is needed to break a tie in the Senate. Now for a look at your forecast, here's Christina.